So, I guess it's official. I'm not a big fan of cup noodles. As you already know, I said that I tried the cup noodles of seafood and the original one. So, and this is the shrimp with shrimp and stuff. And I'm not a big fan of this. I remember as a kid, I used to eat this a lot as a kid. And then when I got older, I guess I started to taste the difference between Marchand and cup noodles. I like this guy more. I don't know. I think the reason why I'm saying this is because yesterday I had this for dinner. Couldn't even finish it. After like 3, maybe 4 bites, I couldn't finish it. I was just like, it was just bland. That was it. It was just bland. And I think because the noodles, so this says do not microwave. This you can microwave. So I don't know, because you have the choice between microwave and actually doing the old fashioned way, that it may have changed the noodles and thus changing the texture. Because even when I boiled it for 3 minutes, and it says you do have the option up here, you have the option to microwave for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, or to boil it in water for 3 minutes. And it was just, it didn't taste rubbery, it tasted hard. Like, it shouldn't be hard. Not like that. And yeah, I like this more. Because this one, you actually boil it. You actually use boiling water. So I don't know if it's, because you have these 2 cooking methods, that the ingredients of the noodles themselves had to change, or it's just not a good brand of ramen compared to this. So I guess since I officially tried all kinds of cup noodle, no matter what, it looks like this is the winner. That this is my go-to. Now, if everyone else likes cup noodles, cool, great, more power to you. It is what it is. Funny enough, I prefer this instant lunch, this version of matcha-chan, than the packets. Because no matter how many times I did the packets of ramen, it doesn't taste the same as this. And I asked that one time, and they said because instant and none of that's already done for you. You just gotta boil it. So that's just me. But yeah, I think it's official. Matcha-chan instant lunch is my go-to. I literally just bought these toppings, these dried ramen toppings, from a website called Ramen Bay. That is ramen and then Bay, BAE. It's a website, so you just go ramenbay.com. And it has all kinds of toppings. You have mixed toppings for ramen, or shrimp, or just shrimp and things like that, which is what I got. And so that's coming soon, and I eat that with my ramen, which, since the stuff is already seasoned, I can have more seasoning. So I don't know if I told you this. Last weekend, I went to a market, a type of flea market called the Twilight Market. I know I did mention months ago, possibly in the beginning of summer, I was going to a market called the Nightmare Market, which next year, the Nightmare Market for its 3rd time is going to happen in October. I wish it was happening this year so we can go, because the Twilight Market was a lot more smaller than the Nightmare Market. the Twilight Market was literally underneath like an overpass. You would think it's shady. No, it was actually, normal, well put. Um, there was, because they sell oddities. There was a raccoon head, an embalmed raccoon head in a jar for, it was either 150 or 250. Next to it was a bunny head in a jar as well. The raccoon head had teeth, and the teeth looked white as heck. How? And there was this other table, they were doing the same thing, but it was with different kinds of reptiles. A few of them were chameleons. They didn't have eyes. It was chameleons, geckos, and things like that. Turtles. I've never seen a turtle before in a jar. It was crazy. It was kind of cool. Expensive, but yeah. But during my time there, the only thing I got there, because when I went there, I went with the intent to get a shadow box of a snake skeleton, but they didn't. They had them, but not the specific kind that I wanted. The ones that they were selling was more like a mirror. Well, it wasn't like a mirror, but it looked like the design of a mirror without the mirror, and then it was like kind of like a portrait and things like that. I didn't like that, so I couldn't get a skeleton, a shadow box skeleton of a snake, or let alone a shadow box of a bat. So it seems like the Nightmare Market, since it's bigger and has more shops or more stands, I have better chances there. But I have to wait a whole year next year. But while I was there, since Halloween was coming up next month, I saw this and I just had to get it. I saw it and I had to get it. It was just calling me. I couldn't leave without it. And this was like for $10-12. And also at the same stand, I love Sleepy Hollow. I love the Headless Horseman. Like, I saw this too and I couldn't leave without it either. I had to buy it. But yeah. I guess his name is called Stingy Jack. And it's kind of, when I saw this, it was like, this has to be like Headless Horseman kind of vibe. But I like it a lot. Like, Jack. Every time I go to Hot Topic or FYE or anything and they have Night Before Christmas stuff and I see Jack, I go, Jack. Jack. That'd be kind of cool. It's kind of funny because with the Headless Horseman, there's a good chance that Irving Washington, the man behind Sleepy Hollow, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and he did another story with a man falls asleep, and when he wakes up, he finds out he's been asleep for a while, which was the premise of the show on Fox's Sleepy Hollow before it ended. I didn't like the way it ended. They had at least one more season. They left it on a cliffhanger, but so they put the two stories together so that way it would explain why Ichabod Crane is not in the real world, is in modern day times. And it was a good show. Like I said, it was. Sleepy Hollow is one of the very few shows I stuck to the very end. And around 2011, 2012, a lot of good shows were coming out. A lot of good shows. Bates Motel, Grimm, Teen Wolf, Sleepy Hollow, yeah, all those shows I stuck to the very end. Because it never ceased to grab me. It never ceased to let me go. Defiance, I couldn't make it through the first episode. It was the same thing with Alphas. I think by the 5th or 6th episode of Alphas from Sci-Fi Network, I couldn't do it. And I would have continued to watch Caprica, but I don't know if it was the cable company or the network, because it was also on Sci-Fi. I don't know what had happened, because after it was like, so they would give it late on Monday, so I would watch it the next day on demand. And then for some odd reason, the episodes were off. Like, it says episode 1, but it's given episode 2. And I don't know how Caprica ended. I remember the last episode I saw, it was called Blood Angels. And it was Zoe Greystone's avatar is trying to maneuver through the virtual world in a better way. She meets a girl who had basically is virtual now, just like she is, because of an attack that happened in the first season, which paved the way to this whole thing. And that was the end of it. After that, it's like, what the heck? Okay, Zoe's back, and now she's in her human form. How did that work? You know, it was like so many episodes were missing, and then it was cut. Come to find out, it was gone, and Canada has a channel called Space, which does a lot of sci-fi, supernatural stuff, almost like Comet TV, and they gave the rest there. And I was like, what the heck? What the heck? But yeah, yeah, like Sleepy Hollow was like one of the only shows I watched at the very end. But yeah. But yeah, so as I was saying, sorry guys, I got a little spiel. So the Headless Horseman, Irving Washington may have. Now I don't know for sure, don't quote me. But it's not hard to have a feeling that that's what it happened to. The Headless Horseman was inspired by an Irish harbinger of death, an harbinger of death from Irish folklore called the Dullahan. And the Dullahan is said to ride a black horse and go through nights trying to get souls that are near their end. When he passes doors, the doors open. They have no choice but to open, as if to let the souls out. He has a head that he'll actually take off to look all around. And it says that his head looks like and smells like moldy cheese. And he has a smile, like as if it's ear to ear, as if he's smiling. Like his mouth is like that tight. And the only time he ever speaks is your name. So if he says your name, you're done for. There's no escape because he's coming for you. It says that he's not a big fan of people of watching him. So he has a whip in the form of a human spine. And if he sees you watching him and he doesn't like that, he'll use that whip to smack your eyes out. To whip your eyes out and everything. Yeah. So I think the Dullahan may have been Mr. Washington's inspiration behind the Headless Horseman. Then again, I could absolutely be wrong. But like I said, it doesn't seem far-fetched. But then again, I could be wrong. Like, don't quote me on it. But yeah. That kind of stuff I've always liked. I've always liked the folklore and things like that. But yeah, that's about it. Like I was saying, I think Matcha-chan or whatever the ramen I was talking about, however you pronounce it, that's my jam. I tried cup noodles. I can't do it. I guess it's official that it's most likely the flavor and the noodles, but that's just me. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, I've tried everything. It's just not working out. It's not working out, so it is what it is. But yeah, hope you guys have a good weekend. Bye.